October 14th, 1066. Imagine a single day that would change a nation forever. On a ridge near a small English town called Hastings, two massive armies face each other. One is led by King Harold II, the very last Anglo-Saxon king of England. The other, by a man named William, Duke of Normandy, who is absolutely convinced that the English crown is his by right. This is the incredible story of the Battle of Hastings, a brutal clash of ambition, destiny, and raw power that would forge the future of an entire country. It all started earlier that year, when King Edward the Confessor died without leaving a direct heir. A power vacuum. The most powerful nobleman in England, Harold Godwinson, was quickly crowned king by the English council. But across the Channel in Normandy, Duke William was furious. He insisted that King Edward had personally promised him the throne years before. And to make matters worse, William claimed Harold himself had once sworn a sacred oath to support his claim. So, when Harold took the crown, William saw it as the ultimate betrayal. He immediately began planning an invasion on a scale never seen before, gathering thousands of knights, building a massive fleet of ships, and even securing the Pope's blessing to fly the banner of the Church into battle. As summer turned to autumn, William's invasion fleet was finally ready. In late September 1066, his army of Normans, Bretons, and Flemish soldiers crossed the rough English Channel and landed on the southern coast of England. Now, here's where fate plays a cruel trick. King Harold wasn't just sitting around waiting. He had just fought off another Asterisk invasion in the north of England, from the fierce Viking king Harald Hardrada. Harold won a stunning victory, but his army was battered, bruised, and utterly exhausted. Despite this, hearing of William's landing, the heroic Harold forced his men to march nearly 300 miles south in a matter of days. After this grueling journey, the two armies finally came face to face near Hastings. The stage was set for a battle that would decide everything. At dawn, the fighting began. Harold, a brilliant military tactician, had positioned his English army on top of a hill, giving them a huge defensive advantage. They formed the legendary shield wall, an almost unbreakable barrier of men and overlapping shields. The Normans, under William's command, charged up the hill again and again. They sent waves of archers, infantry, and thundering cavalry, but the English line held firm. For hours, the battle raged, and the Normans couldn't break through. At one point, things looked so bad for William that his troops started to retreat, thinking he had been killed. But William, ever the cunning commander, rode through his ranks, lifting his helmet to show he was alive, and rallied his men. Then he used a brilliant but risky tactic. He ordered his knights to pretend to flee. It was a fake retreat. Just as he hoped, some of the inexperienced English soldiers broke their disciplined shield wall and chased the fleeing Normans down the hill. It was a fatal mistake. Once the English were exposed on flat ground, the Norman knights wheeled around and cut them to pieces. The shield wall began to crumble. The battle descended into chaos. In the thick of the brutal fighting, a stray arrow soared through the air. Legend tells us it struck King Harold directly in the eye, mortally wounding him. With their king and leader struck down, the morale of the English army shattered. The disciplined shield wall collapsed completely, and the remaining soldiers were overwhelmed. By sunset, the battlefield was silent, covered in the fallen. William of Normandy was victorious. On Christmas Day, 1066, William was crowned King of England in Westminster Abbey. He would forever be known as William the Conqueror. His victory didn't just bring a new king. It brought a new ruling class, a new language, and a completely new system of government. The Norman conquest utterly transformed England. Norman-style castles sprang up across the landscape. Thousands of French words flooded into the English language, and a new feudal society was established. The Battle of Hastings wasn't just a fight for a crown. It was the fiery birth of the nation we now know as England. One battle, one arrow, one fateful day that rewrote the destiny of a nation. This is the powerful legacy of William the Conqueror, the man who turned a risky invasion into a lasting empire. If you love hearing epic stories from history brought to life, please hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what allows us to keep exploring the past together. Thanks for watching.